Have you ever sat in your favorite chair, maybe a cup of tea in hand, staring at your phone, waiting for a message that never comes? This section sets the emotional stage and introduces the core theme of shifting from segment 1, rejection, to understanding. Days pass, then weeks. You check again. Nothing. The silence grows louder than any argument you ever had. And you find yourself wondering, what happened? Why won't my child call? Did I do something wrong? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many parents, especially in the later chapters of life, find themselves in this quiet space, feeling invisible to the very people they once held in their arms. It's a deep ache, isn't it? Because no matter how grown our children are, they never stop being our children. And when they pull away, when the phone calls stop, the visits disappear, or the tone turns cold, it hurts in a way that's hard to explain to anyone who hasn't felt it. But let me tell you something right now. You are not powerless in this. That silence does not get to define your worth. And today, across this profound journey, we're going to talk about what to do when your child starts ignoring you, not from a place of desperation, but from strength, clarity, and love. We have to begin with the hardest truth to absorb. Being ignored by your child can feel like rejection, abandonment, and sometimes like punishment. But before we rush to conclusions or blame, we need to pause and take a breath. What often feels like a deep rejection might actually be something else entirely, something unspoken, misunderstood, or long buried. Sometimes children pull away not because they've stopped loving us, but because they're overwhelmed by their own lives. They don't know how to talk about their feelings. Or they're carrying wounds they've never processed, moments in their childhood that we thought were small, but left a bigger mark on them than we realized. Or perhaps life simply swept them up, jobs, partners, their own children, and they didn't know how to keep us close while managing the chaos of everything else. The shift starts here. Your child's silence is often information about their internal state, not a verdict on your quality as a parent. You have to stop viewing the distance as a rejection of you, and start viewing it as a communication about their struggle, their fear, or their capacity. Pause right now. If your heart just tightened, take a deep breath. You are here because you are strong enough to face this. We are moving from a place of accusation to a place of understanding. You can find the timestamps for the next powerful segment in the description below. Segment 2. The anti-chase strategy. This section focuses on stopping the desperate pursuit and shifting power back to the parent through dignity. Now that we understand the silence might not be about hatred, we move to the next critical step, the anti-chase strategy. I know you have tried. You probably sent messages filled with warmth, tried to play it cool, or left voicemails. But when there's no response, it can feel like you're talking into a void. And that pursuit, while human and driven by love, has a devastating effect. It confirms to the child that they have the power and you are desperate. Here's where your first real power comes in. Don't chase. Don't beg. And don't collapse into shame. If they have gone silent, more noise from your side will not bring them closer. Sometimes the most powerful thing you could do is stop talking. Not forever, but for now. That silence on your part isn't giving up. It's giving space. Space does something remarkable. It lets emotions settle. It invites perspective. And most importantly, it shifts the energy. Instead of being the parent who keeps knocking and demanding, you become the parent who quietly waits with an open door and an open heart. The dignity rule. We must establish the dignity rule. You are a whole, valuable person, and your worth is not a request that your child can deny. One final, clear message. If you must send a final message for your own peace of mind, make it respectful, non-demanding, and open-ended. Something like, I love you and I miss you. My door is always open when you are ready to talk. Until then, take care. And then you stop. You have extended the invitation. You have confirmed your love. The responsibility for the next move is entirely theirs. The stop checking rule. You must cut the emotional tether. Stop monitoring their social media. Stop asking mutual friends for updates. Each time you check, you are placing yourself back in harm's way and reinforcing your pain. This is not about them. It is about protecting your own heart. Anchor your own ship. While you wait, I want you to do something else, something vital. Start nurturing the parts of your life that don't revolve around their response. Reconnect with old friends. Join a local group. Start writing that memoir. The more you reclaim your own space, the more you remember that you are a whole person, not just a parent waiting for a reply. Because here's the thing. When a child senses that your entire emotional well-being depends on them, it pushes them further away. It's a weight they don't know how to carry. When they see you living, breathing, and shining without begging for their love, it sends a quiet but powerful message. I love you deeply, but I do not need you to survive. And sometimes that freedom is exactly what opens the door. Your emotional safety is paramount. Commit right now to 1 full day of zero contact checking. No checking their social media. No checking your messages. No calling a relative for an update. Just 24 hours of focusing on yourself. You are the CEO of your own happiness. When you successfully complete that day, type dignity in the comments. Segment 3. Reflection without blame. This segment tackles the parent's guilt and encourages honest self-reflection without self-destruction. You might be thinking, but what if I did mess up? That thought sits heavy, doesn't it? It's the constant internal interrogation. Was I too strict? Too soft? Did I say something that pushed them away? It is noble to examine ourselves, but it is not helpful to drown in guilt. Guilt turns you into someone who apologizes for their existence rather than someone who stands with quiet dignity. The goal here is reflection without blame. 1. The inventory of intent instead of interrogating your past. Sit with it for a while. Ask yourself honestly, was there something I said or did that may have hurt them, even if I didn't intend to? If something comes up, a pattern of criticism, perhaps, or a moment you weren't present, be willing to own it, not in desperation to win them back, but because healing can only happen where truth is welcome. If the day comes when they reach out and they voice a pain point, you must be ready to respond with presence, not defensiveness. You don't have to agree with their interpretation of the past, but you must acknowledge their experience. Instead of saying, that's not how it happened, I was tired, say this. I hear that you felt hurt and unheard during that time, and for that, I am truly sorry. A true apology validates their feeling. It doesn't debate the historical facts. 2. Forgiving the human and the parent, and this is vital. If you look back and realize you did your best with what you knew at the time, if you were loving, present, and tried to meet their needs, hold that truth too. You were human. You were learning. Parenting doesn't come with a perfect script. It's written in real time with real emotions and real limitations. That kind of thinking, the constant self-attack, can eat away at your spirit. So today, I am asking you to release that weight. Forgive yourself for being human, for not always having the right answers, for not seeing everything clearly in the moment. You cannot change the past, but you can choose how you carry it. Walk forward with compassion for them, yes, but also immense compassion for yourself. We're going to do a painful but necessary exercise. Think of one thing you regret most in their childhood. Now, take out a piece of paper, write it down. Above it, write this sentence. I forgive myself for not knowing then what I know now. Do it right now and share I forgive in the comments. This is for your freedom. Segment 4. Setting quiet. Powerful boundaries. This segment focuses on protecting the parent's emotional space and dignity, especially during difficult times. When your child is distant, your heart is exposed. We must build quiet, powerful boundaries, not to punish them, but to honor your peace and your sanity. A boundary is not a wall to keep them out. It's a foundation to keep you standing. 1. The boundary against emotional harm. If your child is distant, you cannot keep placing yourself in harm's way emotionally. The gift rule. During the holidays or birthdays, do not send lavish, emotionally charged gifts designed to elicit response. If you send anything, let it be small, practical, and sent with zero expectation of thanks. Your boundary is, I will not buy my way back into your life. The shared space rule. If you are forced to be in the same room, your boundary is that you will treat them with courtesy and warmth, but you will not engage in intense, emotional conversations. You are there to enjoy the broader family, not to stage an intervention. Keep it light. Keep it dignified. The rumor mill boundary. You must draw a firm line with extended family and friends. You are allowed to say, I appreciate your concern, but my relationship with is private, and I won't be discussing it. I need you to respect that. This boundary protects you from the stress of managing everyone else's opinions and questions. 2. Viewing silence as information, not an insult. I want you to try to make a subtle shift. View their silence as information, not an insult. When someone goes quiet, they are communicating something with their behavior. It could be stress, immaturity, or deep avoidance. But if you stop trying to decode it and simply accept it as where they are right now, you stop needing to react. You take your power back. This acceptance is not surrender. It is strategic patience. It says, I see where you are, and I am not going to let your current limitations destroy my life. This is an act of self-love. I want you to decide on one thing, one specific behavior, that you will stop doing immediately because it causes you pain. Is it checking their old photos? Is it looking up their profile? Stop it. Write down your boundary and commit to it. Type protected in the comments to seal that promise to yourself. Segment 5. Reclaiming your full life. This segment is the most empowering part. It pushes a parent to live fully, proving their self-sufficiency. You might be thinking, but what if they never come back? That fear sits heavy, doesn't it? It's the quiet thought that creeps in during the middle of the night. I want to gently remind you of something important. Relationships, especially with our children, are rarely a straight line. They twist, they pause, they stretch. Silence doesn't always mean the story is over. Sometimes it just means the next chapter is still being written. But while you hold space for the possibility of reconnection, you must also hold space for your own growth. 1. The necessity of expansion in your life doesn't shrink because one person pulls away. It expands when you choose to keep opening up. You are not just someone's parent. You are still becoming, still learning, still capable of deep connection, whether that's a sibling, a neighbor, a grandchild, or a stranger who becomes a friend. When you reclaim your life, you are sending a signal to the universe, and more importantly, to yourself. I am a whole, contributing member of this world. Go back to the source of joy. What brings you genuine, simple, everyday joy? Gardening? Painting? History classes? Cooking? Do that thing. Schedule it. Commit to it. That joy is not a distraction. It is a life-affirming reminder that your emotional core is still intact. Share your wisdom. There are thousands of people who still want to hear your voice. Sit at your table and learn from what you've seen. Volunteer. Mentor. Write. Your wisdom is not leftovers. It's a gift. Don't let one closed door close your heart to the rest of the world. When you start living fully, you stop waiting. And when you stop waiting, you remove the desperation from the relationship, making any future contact genuine and beautiful rather than needy and strained. You don't have to stop loving your child to start loving your own life again. This week, I want you to say yes to one invitation you would usually decline. Say yes to that dinner. Say yes to joining that local group. Create new bonds, not to replace the old, but to add to your life's richness. Tell me what you are saying yes to in the comments. Your life is waiting. Segment 6. The gift of forgiveness. This segment focuses on a final, most crucial step for peace. Forgiveness, both for the child and for the self. We now arrive at the deepest work. Forgiveness. It's easy to misunderstand forgiveness. It does not mean pretending nothing happened. It does not mean their behavior was acceptable. Forgiveness means recognizing that sometimes people grow in strange, silent ways. They stumble. They shut down. They make choices that hurt others without even knowing how deep the wound goes. 1. Forgiving them. Choosing peace over pain. Forgiving your child is not an act you perform for them. It is a gift you give yourself. Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. When you hold on to the anger and the pain of their distance, you're the only one who suffers day after day. Forgiveness says, I am choosing peace over pain. I am choosing freedom over resentment. It releases you from the painful story they wrote for you. It allows you to move forward without the heavy chain of their actions tethered to your spirit. 2. Forgiving yourself. Releasing the weight. We touched on this earlier, but it deserves a segment of its own. It's easy to carry around the weight of what you wish you'd done differently. The harsh word, the missed opportunity, the times you were just doing your best, but now wonder if it was enough. That kind of thinking can consume you. You are learning, too, You were dealing with your own limitations, your own stresses, your own past. You did the best you knew how to do at the time. Today, I ask you to release that remaining weight. Forgive yourself for being an imperfect parent, because there is no other kind. When you achieve that, you can stand tall, knowing you showed up with love, even if love wasn't returned in the way you hoped. Find a quiet moment today. State this intention out loud. I release the resentment I hold over this distance. I choose peace. This is your commitment to self-liberation. Type release when you have done this private, powerful act. Segment 7. If they come back and the final truth, this final, powerful segment gives a parent the script for future contact and the ultimate message of self-worth. What happens if they do come back? What if one day the phone rings? What if they knock on your door and say, "I want to talk"? In that moment, everything in you might want to unload the pain you've been carrying. But let me offer this. Meet them with presence, not pressure. Do not make them prove their love. Do not demand an explanation or a grand apology. Do not drag the past between you. Let the conversation unfold like a slow sunrise, not a courtroom cross-examination. You are allowed to feel hurt. You are allowed to say, "That silence was hard," but say it with softness, not fire. Real reconciliation happens in quiet, honest moments, not dramatic speeches. If they sense that being near you means judgment, blame, or guilt, they may retreat again. But if they sense warmth, openness, and quiet dignity, they may stay. The ultimate final truth. But if they don't come back, if the silence remains, then you must remember this above all else. Your value is not determined by how present your children are in your life. You are still needed in this world. Your wisdom, your stories, your laughter, they're not leftovers. They're gifts. There's a kind of power in knowing that you showed up with love. Even when love wasn't returned the way you hoped, that kind of strength, that deep, quiet strength, becomes your compass. It reminds you who you are, a person who has loved, who has endured, and who still has more to give. Don't let the distance from one person close your heart to the rest of life. You've come too far to put your joy on hold. You are ready to heal, ready to keep growing, ready to live fully, even in the face of silence. You're not alone. If this video brought you comfort or clarity, give it a like so more people like us can find it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to embrace the golden years. This is your space. You still matter. You're still needed. And the best parts of your life may still be waiting to unfold. Now go live with heart.